Genesis 47 and 1. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan.
Out of the land of what?
Out of the land of Canaan.
So we see that Abraham didn't dwell there. He didn't pass on in the land of Canaan. Isaac didn't live there. He didn't pass on in the land of Canaan. And Jacob is still living in the land of Canaan. But now his son Joseph, we know, been sold down into Egypt, right? Complete bondage, but now he's raised to a high state by the Pharaoh. So now he done got back connected with his family and told Pharaoh, look, my family's coming back. You know what I'm saying? Drop down to verse 7.
And Joseph brought in Jacob his father and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh.
Read.
And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years.
You see that? So he 130 years old, coming out of Canaan land, entering into Egypt. 85 plus 130 is what? 215 exact. Okay? So we see that our foreparents dwelt, just like the real scripts say, in Canaan land for 215 years. Right? Everybody clear on that? Let's get to Egypt. Let's get Genesis 41. Let's see how many years we was in Egypt. Let's go to Genesis 41. We're going to pick it up at the 41st verse.
Genesis 41 and 41. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt.
So now we say our foreparent Joseph, he didn't receive rulership under Pharaoh in Egypt. But let's see how old he was when this took place. Drop down to verse 46.
Verse 46. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
So he was 30 years old, right? So Joseph is 30 at this particular time. Let's now remember, Joseph interpreted a dream for the Pharaoh, right? What dream did the Pharaoh have? Anybody remember? Famine, right? But how many years? 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine, right? So we got 30 years. Let's go to Genesis 41. Again, we'll stay here and pick up verse 47.
Genesis 41 and 47. And in the 7th plenteous year, the earth brought forth by handfuls.
So we got the 7 years of plenty. So from that point on, from the 7 years added on to Joseph's years would make him how old? About 37, right? Okay. Drop down to 54.
Verse 54. And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
So he's 37, so now the dirt starting to come in. So a couple of years, about a couple of years, then went into this thing, and now Joseph gonna be about 39 years old. You know what I'm saying? When his foreparents started coming to Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to let's prove that. Let's go to Jasher. Anybody got their book of Jasher? Go to Jasher 58 and verse 1. Now what we about to show that our foreparents was not afflicted in the land of Egypt for 400 years at all. Now it's only 215 years left. But we're going to show that they was, for one, in a good state in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Until the affliction came. I got it. So everybody that got to go to Jasher 58 and verse 1.
Jasher chapter 58 and 1. And it came to pass in the 32nd year of the Israelites going down to Egypt.
32nd year of our people coming down to Egypt.
Read. That is in the 71st year of the life of Joseph, In that year died Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and Magron, his son, reigned in his stead.
So we see time didn't elapse, right? So let's go back, go to Genesis 45 and 6 real quick.
Genesis 45 and 6. For these 2 years have the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in the which there shall neither be earning nor harvest.
Right, so we see that.
Earing or harvest.
Read that again.
Neither be earing nor harvest.
Okay. So we see that when Joseph, if the 430, like he coming to Egypt, when he was given the power at 30 years old, right? He should have been afflicted with the children of Israel at the age of 69. But that didn't take place. Read that Joshua again, that 58 and 1.
Joshua chapter 58 and 1. And it came to pass in the 32nd year of the Israelites going down to Egypt.
So the 32nd year of his life, read.
That is in the 71st year of the life of Joseph.
So how many years did he lapse? From the time that the famine that came in, which was he was about 39 years old, right? How many years was it when they came in? How old was Joseph?
He was 71.
And how many years did the children of Israel sojourn so far in the land of Egypt? 32, right? So 32 years. Huh? From 39 to 71. So it's about, what, 32 years, right?
Yep.
Exactly. So Joseph didn't see no affliction at this time with the children of Israel, right? Exactly. How old was he when he passed away? Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go to Genesis 50 and 26. So we see at the 71st year of his life, in the 32nd year, our people coming into the land, Pharaoh, he's still ruling up under Pharaoh. And the Pharaoh that he was ruling over had just passed away. So Genesis 50 and 26.
Genesis 50 and 26. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt.
So you see that? So he been ruled from the time he got his rulership at the age of 30 for 80 years in the land of Egypt. So you got an 80-year period right there that they had the best, because they brother was in rulership. So go to Genesis 45 again.
I said plus 215, they was in Canaan.
Exactly. So you got 215 right there. And then you got the 80 plus where it's just right there, where he ruled. You know what I'm saying? 45 and verse 6.
Genesis 45.
I'm sorry, don't get that. I'm sorry, 45 and 18.
45 and 18. And take your father and your household, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land.
I'm gonna put you in the ghettos.
And I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land.
You see that? So when our forebears came in there, boom, you got the best of the land. So we weren't afflicted at that time. Exactly. Go to 50-23. Genesis 50-23. Joseph even saw his grandparents in the land of Egypt while they were doing good.
Genesis 50 and 23. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation.
The third generation. So they done had a nice time, you know what I'm saying, of seeing their children being produced in the land of Egypt in a great estate. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to Joshua. Go to Joshua 61, and we'll pick it up at the 3rd verse.
Joshua chapter 61 and 1. And it came to
Pick it up at the 3rd.
chapter 61 and 3. And Zebulun, the son of Jacob, died in that year. That is the 72nd year of the going down of the Israelites to Egypt.
So Zebulun then died, you know what I'm saying? 70, how many years?
77.
77 years of our people coming down in there. So you got to knock off 77 for the 215, right? You know what I mean? Read on.
And Zebulun died 114 years old, and was put into a coffin and given into the hands of his children.
So go to Jasher 62:1. Now we starting to see our foreparents dying in the land of Egypt, but still in a good condition. No affliction was to be had yet.
Jasher chapter 62, said 1?
Yeah, pick it up at the first verse.
And 1. In that year, being the 79th year of the Israelites going down to Egypt, died Reuben, the son of Jacob, in the land of Egypt.
So 79th year, Reuben had passed away. So we seeing years is elapsing. Our foreparents starting to die, but they still in a good condition. Drop down to, go to Jasher 63. Pick it up at the first verse.
Jasher chapter 63 and 1. And in the 93rd year died Levi.
So the 93 years, our foreparent Levi then passed away. You know what I'm saying? Read.
The son of Jacob, in Egypt, and Levi was 137 years old when he died.
Okay. Read. Let's get down to the crux of the matter. Go to 63, or stay where you at, and get verse 4.
Verse 4. And it came to pass in those days, in the 102nd year of Israel going down to Egypt, that Pharaoh, king of Egypt, died.
You see that? 102 years of our people going down in Egypt. Now, you know what I'm saying, you had a Pharaoh that had passed, but we still in good condition. Read.
And lo, his son reigned in his stead. And all the mighty men of Egypt, and all that generation which knew Joseph and his brethren, died in those days. And another generation rose up in their stead, which had not known the sons of Jacob, and all the good which they had done to them, and all their might in Egypt. Therefore all Egypt began from that day forth to embitter the lives of the sons of Jacob, and to afflict them with all manner of hard labor.
You see that? So 102 years after we then came into Egypt is when the affliction started to take place. You know what I'm saying? So minus 102 from the 215, what do you have? Huh?
113.
You got 113, right? 113 years left of us being in bondage, right? I mean, well, you know, being in Egypt. Let's get Exodus 1. Keep that in mind, 102 years of our people coming down into Egypt. All our foreparents starting to die off. And 102 years after we came, we started to get afflicted. Go to
Chapter 1.
go to Exodus 1. Pick it up at the 6th verse.
Exodus chapter 1 and 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation.
So that's the same thing we read in Joshua what was taking place, right? Read.
And the children of Israel were very fruitful, and increased bountifully, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty.
You see that? Read.
And the land was filled with them. Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and come to pass that, when they falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasured cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
So you see that? So keep in mind, our people started to be afflicted 102 years after we came down, right? Now Moses is about to come into the scene, right? He had to be born and be the one, the chosen leader to bring our people out of there. How many years was Moses? How old was Moses when he came to deliver our people out of the land of Egypt? 60, 80? Let's prove it. Let's go to Exodus 7 and 7. 17, bro? Young dude? Let's go to Exodus 7 and 7.
Oh, you're right, this is high level. Exodus chapter 7 and 7. And Moshe was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old.
So how old was Moses? He was 80, right? So